Joining me now is Andrew Prosky. How are you doing, Andrew?
I'm fine, thanks very much, Joel.
Now tell us who you play in the show.
I play Victor Franz.
Okay, and what is the price about from Victor's point of view?
From Victor's point of view, the price is about respect. And it's also about understanding what price you pay for choices that are made in the past. It's also, for him, a lot about settling scores and developing a peace within himself, giving himself some peace of mind concerning the relationship with his brother and furniture that the family had that needs to be sold.
Okay, why do you think Victor is the brother the audiences love the most?
Well, I think that audiences will be drawn to his side of the argument because of he's a good-hearted son. He's the son who stuck with his older father, his aging father when he needed the help, and the other son, Walter, moved on to pursue his own goals. So I think most people would like to think of themselves as good sons and daughters.
So why should audiences like the changed Walter, and why do audiences have such a difficult time doing so?
I think audiences would want to believe that people can change and better themselves and make up for mistakes. It's difficult to believe somebody who says they've changed without giving them a chance to really prove it.
So how much of your own personality is in the character of Victor and the way you play him?
Not a whole lot. He's a stretch for me. I'm not as, well, I guess uptight. I'm a more relaxed, easygoing person than Victor turns out to be. But I do use I have a great deal of loyalty to my family, and I use that. So that we hold similar beliefs in that respect.
Okay, sibling rivalry is a major theme in the price. You agree with that? Right?
Oh, yeah, not a doubt.
Oh, did either you or John use your experiences growing up to prepare to be these brothers, Walter and Victor, in the price?
I think every time you begin to create a character, the thing you have to start with is your own life. And it's easy for me to relate to some of the sibling rivalry in the play, as long as I expand on it in my own life. My own life, me and my brother have some sibling rivalry, but nothing like what's portrayed in the price. So,
want to care to share?
Well, we're both actors. Of course, he is a little older than me and looks a lot different than me, but we still, once in a while, would end up going out for the same roles. But now that he's on the West Coast and I'm on the East Coast, it doesn't happen
So the
nearly
relationship is better now, right?
Yes, it is better. All we need is like the whole nation between us, and things just work out fine. Can't have too many Proskys in one town.
Have you ever worked with your father before?
Yes, I have. I've done various plays with my father. We did Life in the Theater together, which was a really interesting experience because it's an experience where the relationship is basically an older actor seducing a younger actor. And let me tell you, you don't know what it's like being on stage and having your father flirt with you and come on to you. That's worth years of therapy right there.
Well, is it fun or is it intimidating sometimes?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. Of course, it's fun, but he's a very generous and loose actor. We very rarely have something that we make sure happens the same way every night. In fact, I don't think there's anything we make sure happens the same every night. The idea is to have a real improvisation within the guidelines that are written down in the script. Of course, the words are all Arthur Miller's, and those don't change. But inflections and general interpretations of character and play, they stay the same, but specifically moment to moment, it does stay fresh and as real, and making it appear as if it's happening for the first time.
Has there been any time when he looks at you and you just start cracking up and you're out of character?
Yeah.
Any of that happen?
Oh, yeah, it happens. Well, you want to give each audience their due and, be as professional as possible, but of course, once in a while, you do have those moments where you just can't help but crack up.
So what was the first show that you appeared in? How old were you when you decided you also wanted to act?
The first show I was ever in would have to... I played Scrooge in 6th grade. It was quite a stretch. I was 11 years old playing Ebenezer Scrooge. That was one of the first things I ever did. But professionally, the first show I did, I was in 7th grade, and I performed at Arena Stage at Caucasian Chalk Circle. So that might have been when the seed was planted, when I realized, oh my gosh, you can show off and get paid for it. This can be a lot of fun. So,
okay, how difficult is it to establish your own reputation as an actor when your father is so well known?
Oh, it's very difficult no matter who your father may be. I might have it a little harder, but for everything that is hard about having somebody successful and as well known as my father, there's the other side of the sword. There's wonderful things about being close to someone who really has made it and can give you all sorts of good advice and generally just set a good standard, a wonderful example.
Are any of your kids interested in acting?
I don't think my son is 14 and Kyle lives in Florida. Right now he's interested in guitars and girls. So I don't think acting's really on his radar quite yet. But he has seen a lot of shows and he does enjoy them when he comes to see them. So who knows?
When you watch your father performing, what goes through your mind?
Is he really going to do it like that? No. No, I think a lot of things, this is one of those experiences where you're not sure how much it's going to affect you as it's happening. I know I'm going to be affected by this experience 20, 30 years down the line. This experience will still be affecting me. So I think a lot of what goes through my mind is, this is a wonderful experience. I want to cherish every moment of it. And I'm telling you, my fingers ache from pinching myself because it's a dream come true.
Okay, so you've appeared on TV series and in movies. Can you name a few for us?
Sure. The John Adams HBO miniseries that's on right now. I have a small part in episode 7.
Who do you play?
I play Thomas Jefferson's doctor. And that's...
So what's wrong with Thomas?
A whole lot at that point. He's on his deathbed, so... Not the best doctor in the world, but of course, he was very old, and at that time, there was not much you could do for people who are that age. So that's a recent one. Last season, I did an ER, again, with my father. There's a nice twist in that. It's called Family Business. And I have a small part in Men in Black, the movie, and Up Close and Personal as well.
Okay, so what do you think is a fair price for all that furniture?
1968 prices? I would probably go with what is given to me. Maybe $100 more, because he's pretty shrewd, and I tend to believe that Victor gets very close to Solomon and perhaps lets him off the hook for getting what I really think it would be worth in those days. Maybe $1,300, maybe $1,250, and I take $1,150. But the old guy is just so cute that you just can't help but cut him a break.
Well, please invite our listeners to come and see the price and tell them what kind of experience they will have.
Well, I think you're just going to have a great time in the theater that night. It's a really rare opportunity to see an actor of my father's caliber in a role that he was born to play. So it's a wonderful opportunity for audiences to enjoy world-class playwright and a wonderful, gifted actor who is in the kind of role that he was born to play, and he's giving the performance of a lifetime. So come on down to Theater J and check it out.
Okay, thanks so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'm here with John Prosky. How are you doing?
Very good, very good.
You just came off a plane. Where were you?
I was in Los Angeles shooting an episode of Medium.
Okay, and how did it go?
Who can say? I never know. It's one of those things where,
You were supposed to say medium well.
Medium well. It went medium rare. How's that?
That's better. So tell us who you play in The Price.
I play Walter, who is the brother who is coming back to regain his brother, Victor, the doctor. Yeah.
And what is The Price about from Walter's point of view?
From Walter's point of view, I think, that's a good question. That's very... Because, what the play's about and what it's about for Walter is two different things.
That's
Very
right.
good question. I think for Walter it's about getting his brother back, realizing that his journey in his life has led him to a breakdown, a great deal of unhappiness, and he knows exactly why. And he comes back to not just try to get his brother back, but to explain to him why he did what he did, why he left the family, and why he thinks maybe Victor has the same problems he does.
So why do you think Victor's the brother the audiences love the most, and you're the one they have a hard time accepting that you've actually changed?
That's another good question. I got attacked in a hotel room in Philadelphia, not a lobby. It was the lobby. This woman came up to me.
This is at the Walnut
Street Theater in the Hotel Windsor where we were staying. This woman came up to me, and it got to the point where the woman behind the desk who was working at the hotel, who knew me, said, "Mr. Prosky, do you need me to call security?" Because this woman was on me.
What did she say to you?
Well, she was like, you, I don't like you. And I was like, do I know you? And she goes, no, from the play. I know you from the play. And I was like, yes. And and my problem was I tried to engage her, and that actually was a mistake, because finally, really what happens is the people who really find Walter unforgivable, I found, are the people who have dealt with the same issue in a big way in their life. They've actually felt abandoned by their siblings and taken care of their family, or something of that kind has happened to them, and they're still walking around with it. And it's funny how Miller is very clear in the script. I am completely confused by how much people don't like my character. He makes sense to me.
Well, tell us why you think your character should be forgiven.
Because he comes on with a very clear agenda. I mean, Victor has a line where he says, "This is where we are, right here, now." And it should almost be my line, because the past is the past. What he comes on that stage to do in that moment, it's like the great Jewish question, how is this day different than all the rest? And the way that this is different for all the rest, for Walter, is he comes on to get his brother back. And he's completely honest about it. He's completely honest about his own breakdown. He's completely honest about the fact that his father was no saint and his mother was no, princess. So, yeah, I mean,
how much your own personality is in the way you play this character?
One of the things that I've realized over the years as an actor is that, I love character work, love it. But the best thing you can offer any character, first and foremost, is yourself. So whenever you start a character, you try to find your gateway into understanding his needs, wants, relationships. So there's a lot of ways he's like me. Often in my life, and often in everybody's life, we put on blinders to obtain an objective. And that's what Walter has done. And he's seen the consequences of that. So I think that's very much how Walter is like me.
Okay, sibling rivalry, as I asked your brother before, is a major theme in the prize.
Oh, yes.
And I have 5 brothers, so I understand that.
Oh, well, where are you? Are you in the middle?
I'm the 2/3 son.
The 2/3, so you're an axe murderer. You're a middle guy,
you're
like me.
Those.
Yeah, right.
That's true. Okay, well, did either of you use any of your experiences growing up with the sibling rivalry that I'm sure you had to prepare for your role?
Yes. It's so funny. What's great about working with your brother and playing a brother to your brother is that it's not work you got to do. It's there. I actually never had to sit down, as I've had with actors who aren't my brother. I've never had to sit down and say, okay, let me make up some kind of little story for myself here that will connect me to this other actor who I don't know. Andy and I have a myriad of what brothers have to bring on stage with us. We have, we played with G.I. Joes forever. We had fights. We had competition. We love each other very much. We're very close, which is not that is the one place that it's different in these brothers, Walter and Victor, than Andrew and I. Were quite close, and I can't imagine not speaking to my brother for 16 years. That's a crazy idea to me.
Me too.
Yes.
Although there's one I wish.
Oh, really?
4 out of 5 is not bad. Right?
No, that's good. That's actually a good. Yeah.
So have you ever worked with your father before?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we first time I worked with my father was I was 18. I wasn't really working with him. I did some smaller roles at Arena Stage when I was in high school, senior in high school.
Do you know what the plays were?
Yeah, I did Galileo with him, and then the other play that I was in there, I wasn't in with him. I did Keene, and then we worked on Matchmaker at the Delaware Theater Company.
Who'd you play?
I played Cornelius.
Well,
yes, and then we did that at Arena.
And who'd you play there?
I played Cornelius.
Okay. So you knew that role.
Yeah,
well.
I knew that. Right. Good. And then we did a benefit. I had a theater company out in Los Angeles, and we were doing benefit stage readings of A Life in the Theater. And Dad and I played John and Robert, who were the 2 characters.
He was talking about this.
Yeah.
This is so coincidental.
Yeah, I know, isn't it?
So weird.
And then later on, I directed Andy and Dad in that same play for another theater we were trying to raise money
for. Which was
for.
the better production?
Of course, mine. No, I don't know. Who knows?
Thank you, Walter. Oops.
Oops. Yeah.
So is it fun or is it intimidating or both to work with him?
With my father?
Yeah.
My father is one of the most generous actors you'll ever walk on stage with, and that's not just me spouting, Prosky propaganda. He actually is a very giving, open, wonderful actor, and he'll go where you take him. So he's it's the idea of it is intimidating, but once you're on stage, it's not the least bit intimidating. And it's a lot of fun to get on stage and lock horns with your pop. I mean, that's cool. So
when did you decide that you wanted to act, and what was the first show you acted in? Do you remember?
Wow. I'd been around. There's a picture I always talk about. I'm 3 years old. I'm on my father's lap. He's doing He Who Gets Slapped. I'm backstage at Arena, and he's put clown makeup on me. And that was... I mean, you look in the face of this child, and I had no choice about what I was going to do. I was just... At that moment, I think, it hit me. I want to be an actor,
So how difficult is it, or was it, to establish your own reputation as an actor when your father is so well known?
Yeah, in the early days, I suffered slightly from the syndrome of the son of the great man, because the first question that always came to me as I walked into any room of audition was, "Are you Robert Prosky's son?"
Well, they're advertising this.
I know, right?
Robert Prosky. I mean, does that drive you crazy every time you see that?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't bother me anymore. It's like
my
brother,
time, right?
My younger brother is in this constant sort of. I think constantly bald jokes all the time, and it's funny how he thinks it bothers me. You know what I mean? It's, anyway. But that's the same thing with being Robert Prosky's son. It doesn't bother me anymore because this is the bottom line. Bottom line is, I'm a different actor. I'm a different type. I've had a different, the kind of actor I wanted to be, I can't be anymore.
Which was what?
Core rep actor. There's not. There's one theater in Oregon that pretty much has a season contract where you can make a living and be middle class. But besides that, they're pretty much gone. That movement is over. So I make a very good living in Los Angeles, and I do a lot of free theater to make myself feel like an actor because television and film doesn't.
Okay, are any of your kids interested in continuing the family tradition?
Oh, my God. My son is 5. At 3, he turned to me and said, "I want to be a doctor." And I was like, "Great, good, Joe. Be a doctor." And then about a month ago, he turned to me and said, "I want to be an actor." And I said, No. You said doctor. You can't be an actor if you said doctor." He's like, "I can't change." He's like, No, you got to be a doctor. But anyway, no, it's a profession. Even if you are successful, it's a profession of rejection. On a personal level.
Your dad talked a little lot about
so
that. You heard him, right? When you walked in.
Yeah. So it's not something that you would want somebody, if they can do anything else, they should. So, and I've been very lucky. The business has been good to me. But
so you've appeared in TV series, as you just mentioned, and movies and theater. What's the favorite medium you have
theater.
Of the 3?
Oh, it's my first love. Theater is my first love. I have a family that depends on me fiscally right now, and I can't. I don't want to give them the gypsy lifestyle. So I like being at home. So I do film and TV to make a living, but theater will always be my first love.